So, as you see here, Virginia's capital is under a boil water advisory after more water treatment operations issues. Officials issued this boil water advisory Tuesday in parts of Virginia's capital city, leaving many residents without drinkable tap water following an operational issue at the city's water treatment plant for the second time this year. Richmond officials said that the city's water treatment plant experienced an operational hiccup as poorer quality water flowed through the facility and clogged the plant's filters. In the morning, the water system had been restored to full production but reclogged. Roughly an hour later, large swaths of the city, spanning Richmond's west end to downtown by the Capitol and its northern neighborhoods, were under the advisory. In a news release, officials said all residents were asked to conserve water. At a news conference Tuesday, officials said it would be more than a day before the advisory could be lifted. And we're going to have to go to YouTube to check out this video, it looks like. So we will do that now.
Where the city has issued a boil water advisory for certain areas after some problems at the city's water treatment plant early this morning. The advisory is issued for residents served by the Ginter Park tank, and it includes areas like Bird Park, Carver, Scott's Addition, Jackson Ward, and VCU's Monroe Park campus. Some customers could experience a complete loss of water, while others could see lower water pressure. Apparently, this all stems from an issue earlier today where city leaders say high levels of turbidity in the water, meaning cloudy or haziness. It clogged some of the plant's filters, which they say temporarily reduced water production. City officials say they contacted the Virginia Department of Health and the county shortly after midnight and throughout the morning, saying that they followed emergency response procedures that were implemented after the Richmond water crisis in January. The city says once the water pressure is back to normal, utility workers will begin the process of flushing out the system.
All right, so they said in that video,
Carver, Scott's Addition, Jackson Ward, and VCU's Monroe Park campus. Some customers could experience a complete loss of water, while others could see lower water pressure. Apparently, this all stems from an issue earlier today where city leaders say high levels of turbidity in the water, meaning cloudy or haziness. It clogged some of the plant's filters, which they say temporarily.
They're saying in that video, turbidity. What is turbidity? The quality of being cloudy, opaque, or thick with suspended matter. Clog the filter system.
Turbidity.
Let's put that in the Gematria calculator just on the fly. Just take a look. All right, I see 128, 47, 115, and 61. And I don't really see anything major with that. They didn't actually mention that in our article over here from what I see. And this is the mayor right here. Here's the mayor of Richmond. The mayor of Richmond, Virginia, Danny Avula, is an American public health professional, okay, and politician who is the mayor. Following his 2024 election, following his victory, he is a member of the Democratic Party and the city's first immigrant and first Indian mayor. I did catch something interesting I want to let you know before I move forward. On November 5th, 2024, Avula won the 2024 Richmond mayoral election. Is that how they say it? So he won the election on 115. Now let's look at his name here. When I enter his name in the Gematrinator calculator, look at that. You get 115, the day he won that election. Okay, and we're going to hear him speak on this issue as we move forward. Check this out. What are the odds of this? Officials issued this advisory Tuesday. Tuesday left 218 days in the year, and boil water advisory equals 218 in the ordinal cipher. Wow, right? Even boil water advisory in the reverse cipher 241. That's the 53rd prime number. Virginia comes out to 53 in reduction. Notice these similar numbers here. They're the same. It's just you get reversed with the 98. Virginia's got 89. Operational issue 98. Virginia's capital is under a boil water advisory after more water treatment operations issues. Look at how that lands. 241, the 53rd prime with boil water advisory, Virginia 53. Again, this on the day, leaving 218 days, boil water advisory equals 218. And they're saying after more water treatment operations issues, because there was something, this happened in January, I guess. January, Richmond, Virginia, boil water advisory.
According to USA
It's
Today,
116.
on January 6, Richmond's water treatment plant experienced a power failure, resulting in the loss of water service and boil water advisories for hundreds of thousands of residents across the region. The boil water advisory was lifted after 5 days at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on January 11th.
And we get that date right there, 1/6, a very famous date in history, with the Capitol building riot. Look at that. They even give us the date, the 6th day of the first month. Look, turbidity's got that 61 right there. Check that out. They say a clog in the filter or whatever, cloudiness, called turbidity. So you get that election date. Ooh, turbidity's got that 115. Look at that. I miss that. Turbidity's got the 115 like Danny Avula. And he won the election on 115. Check that out. Ooh, and look, you get that. Richard West, where you at, my man? Look, you get that 128. Holy crap. That may only hit on the surface level with Richard. Everybody check out Richard West's decodes link in this channel. Look at the 128, Richard. Wow. That could hit on a personal level with Richard. Shout out with you. This is your area. Wow, look at that. And you get the 61 like the 6th day of the first month. And 47 is a government word as well. A government number, excuse me. Wow. That's amazing. But anybody watching this video, look at that. That's the mayor. And they gave us turbidity in that YouTube video. Wow. And dude got elected on 11/5, the 11th day of the 5th month. Holy crap. It seems like this happens all the time, where we go on the fly and it lands. Okay, we go on the fly and it lands. And look at this, lifted after 5 days. This was the original one, or this was another one in January, lifted after 5 days. You get the 5 and then look, you get the 11. Like the 5th day of the 11th month with the election with the mayor and his name equaling 115, turbidity equaling 115. Wow. That's amazing. I still want my coffee though. I still want to go get my coffee. Look at that, man. So it's just absolutely undeniable. It doesn't matter what the trending story is. Look at this. Even operational issue 233 in reverse. Look at, I guess this is the population. Maybe. Look at this. The boil water advisory follows a nearly week-long period in January, which we just spoke of, when an approximately 230 Richmond residents were without drinkable tap water. 230, and then operational issue 233, like 230. Richmond was founded in 1737. Look at these numbers. 17, and look, Richmond, Virginia, 173. Look, you get the 17 and you get this the 7337. Look at that. Richmond, Virginia, 173, founded 1737. So you get the same numbers. If you look at 17 and then look at it from right to left, 37. You see that? Over here on the right, 1737 with the founded date and this code, letters with the numerical values. That's ABC123. Look at operational issue 73. So you get those same numbers. I ain't gonna lie, I boil my water anyways. And it's not a perfect world, so there is slip ups from time to time. I'll do the lemon water with tea, and I'll throw some lemons in there, whatever. But look at, isn't that amazing, with the founded date of Richmond, 1737, Richmond, Virginia, 173, operational issue 73. And it looks like we have to go to YouTube again.
Thanks so much for joining. We wanted to create an opportunity for our media to be able to field questions. I'll just kind of start with the events of today. Earlier, we sent out a press release after we had some issues with some increased sedimentation and clogging up our filters overnight, in the wee hours of this morning. The team responded appropriately, took down the filters, backwashed the filters, and we were up running at full capacity by this morning. So we sent out the press release saying, "Hey, we're up. We've had issues, but we're fully running now." And then subsequent to that, we saw sedimentation again and the reclogging of filters. And so Scott and the team took some of those filters down. We did see drops in production combined with the utilization that happens in the morning. And that dropped water pressures below the 20 PSI threshold for one particular zone of the city. We issued a boil water advisory for that zone. That map can be found on rva.gov.
All right, so yeah, not like a super serious story, but undeniable when you're talking about a breakdown and you're talking about these numbers with the gematria calculator right here. Okay, so you can't deny none of this, and then you get that You get that 115 right here on November 5, winning the Richmond mayoral election, if that's how you pronounce it, becoming mayor-elect of the city. You see that? And even was sworn in on 1/1/2025, and then January 11, 1/1/1, or the 11th day of the first month. After 5 days, this January boil water advisory was lifted right there. And then how, January 6th, I mentioned earlier, right? Very famous day, as you see right there, with government related incident here at the Capitol building, right? And again, that was the 6th day of the first month. And then turbidity 61, and they mentioned turbidity in that video we saw, right? So pretty, again, not like a huge major story, but it doesn't matter once again, as this code gets exposed one more time. So yeah, I thought that was a cool one, and some of these connections, I mean, wow. All right, so I'll go ahead and I think I can go ahead and leave it at that. Virginia's capital is under a boil water advisory after more water treatment operations issues. And again, shout out to Richard West. Check out Richard West and his latest videos, even some of his older videos. The link is in my channel as well. And that was amazing, Richard, with that 128 earlier. Took me like a minute to realize it. But yeah, that'll be like probably on a more personal level, as others watching may not know. But wherever you are, you have certain numbers affiliated with you and connected to you. Okay. But again, you would have to kind of look into your own history, look into your own name, look into the city where you're from, or the town where you're from. And we all have these personal numbers that kind of would follow us as we journey through life. But again, that's all. Everybody would have to speak for themselves on that. But 128, big number with you, Richard. And shout out to you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate anybody else who may watch this breakdown. Undeniable. Okay. So until next time.